Listen up. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I need you to lock in. I need you to open your heart, open your mind, and hear me clearly, because this right here, this could change your life. See, too many of us are out here trying to do it on our own, trying to grind, trying to hustle, trying to make things happen by sheer willpower. And don't get me wrong, effort is necessary. Dedication is key. But let me tell you something. There is a limit to what you can do alone. There is a ceiling to human strength, human wisdom, human ability. And the reason some of y'all are stuck, the reason you keep running into the same wall, is because you're trying to fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons. You're trying to fix broken relationships, but you're leaving God out. You're trying to build wealth, but you're leaving God out. You're trying to heal, to grow, to step into your purpose, but you're leaving God out. But let me tell you, when you allow God in, miracles begin. I'm talking about doors you never thought would open. I'm talking about opportunities you never saw coming. I'm talking about favor, provision, breakthrough, the kind of things that don't make sense on paper, the kind of things that only happen when you surrender, when you stop trying to control everything and let the Creator do what only He can do. See, some of y'all are blocking your own blessings because you're still trying to do things your way. But when you let God in, He makes a way where there was no way. He turns obstacles into stepping stones. He takes your pain and turns it into purpose. You feel me? I've seen it. I've lived it. There were moments when I thought I wasn't going to make it. Moments when the dream felt too far, the struggle felt too real, the mountain felt too high. But the moment I let God in, the moment I stopped trying to be the source and let Him be the source, that's when doors opened. That's when doors opened. That's when the impossible became possible. So today, I'm challenging you, stop holding on so tight. Stop thinking you got to do it all alone. Stop letting fear, pride, and doubt keep you from what God has for you. Because when you allow God in, miracles begin. It's time to make that move. It's time to trust. It's time to open the door and let Him in. No matter how hard we try, there will always be a point where our strength, intelligence, and resources reach their breaking point. We live in a world that glorifies hustle, grind, and self-sufficiency. We are taught from a young age that success depends on how much effort we put in, how much time we sacrifice, and how much we are willing to endure. While discipline and hard work are necessary, they are not enough to break through every obstacle in life. There will always be situations that demand more than human effort. There will always be moments where no matter how much you push, things don't move. That is the limit of human strength. That is the wall we all hit at some point in life. Think about the moments when you gave it everything you had, but it still wasn't enough. You stayed up late, woke up early, put in overtime, sacrificed your peace, and poured your energy into something only to watch it slip through your fingers. Maybe it was a business that you worked tirelessly to build, but despite your efforts, it crumbled. Maybe it was a relationship that you tried everything to fix, but no matter how much love, patience, and forgiveness you gave, it still fell apart. Maybe it was a dream you chased for years, investing every ounce of yourself into it, but it just never seemed to take off. Those moments are frustrating, discouraging, and sometimes even devastating. They leave us wondering, what more could I have done? Why isn't this working? Am I not good enough? The truth is, success and breakthrough are not just about effort. They require something more. They require a power beyond what human beings can generate on their own. Human effort can only take you so far. And when you reach your limit, you have two choices. Either keep struggling, exhausting yourself and burning out, or surrender to a greater power that has no limits. We see this play out in the lives of people all the time. There are those who seem to have everything, intelligence, skills, connections, wealth, but they still can't find peace, fulfillment, or true success. And then there are others who may not have had the best circumstances, the best education, or the best resources, yet they experience favor, breakthrough, and opportunities that don't make sense. The difference is not just in effort. It's in who is guiding the effort. When God's power is involved, things shift in ways that human effort alone cannot achieve. God's power is limitless. Where we see obstacles, he sees opportunities. Where we see dead ends, he sees new beginnings. Where we feel weak, he provides strength. His ability is not confined by human logic, physical laws, or earthly limitations. What seems impossible to us is easy for him. What looks like failure to us is often just a setup for something greater. But we can't access that power if we are still relying on ourselves. One of the biggest reasons people struggle is because they are trying to do life in their own strength. They believe that if they just work harder, push harder, and sacrifice more, eventually they'll break through. But there are things in life that effort alone will never fix. No amount of effort can heal a broken heart. No amount of effort can restore lost time. No amount of effort can create the right opportunities at the right time. Those things require divine intervention. When you look at history, some of the most successful, influential, and powerful people will tell you that their achievements were not just the result of hard work. They will tell you that something beyond them opened doors, made a way, and placed them in positions they could never have reached on their own. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's the power of God at work. There are people who have tried everything to change their situation, but they keep failing because they are only relying on themselves. They keep thinking that if they just grind harder, they will eventually win. But here's the truth. Without God, success is either temporary or empty. Temporary because anything built on human effort alone will eventually collapse under pressure. Empty because even if you achieve everything you set out to do, without God, it won't bring true fulfillment. Human effort without God is like trying to power a city with a flashlight battery. It might provide a little bit of energy for a short time, but it will never be enough to sustain you. It will never be enough to carry you through life's biggest storms. It will never be enough to unlock doors that require supernatural access. When you bring God into the equation, everything changes. What seemed impossible before suddenly becomes possible. What was once a struggle becomes effortless. What looked like a loss transforms into a victory. Not because you stopped working hard, but because your effort is now being fueled by something greater. Your strength alone may not be enough, but when combined with God's power, there is no limit to what can be accomplished. Many people hesitate to trust God fully because they feel like letting go means losing control. They fear that if they stop depending solely on their own strength, they will become weak or directionless. But the truth is, trusting God doesn't mean you stop working hard. It means your hard work is now being directed by a force that never fails. It means you are no longer running on limited human energy, but on the limitless power of the Creator. Some people will keep fighting their battles alone, trying to force their way through life's obstacles and wondering why they never see real breakthrough. Others will recognize that there is a greater power available to them, a power that has no limits, no boundaries, and no weaknesses. The choice is simple. Keep trying to do it all on your own and hit the same walls over and over, or tap into a power that has never known failure. Human effort has limits, but God's power is limitless. Life has a way of making us believe that if we are not in control, things will fall apart. From an early age, we are conditioned to think that our success, our relationships, our future, all of it depends on how well we manage, plan, and execute. Society teaches us that control is power, that the more we can dictate the outcome of our lives, the more successful we will be. We map out our dreams, set our goals, and hold on tightly to the way we think things should happen. But what happens when life doesn't go according to plan? What happens when, despite our best efforts, things still fall apart? What happens when the job we fought so hard for slips through our fingers? When the relationship we invested everything into shatters? When the future we thought was certain suddenly disappears? Control is an illusion. No matter how much we plan, no matter how hard we try to hold everything together, there will always be moments when things don't go our way. And for many people, that is a terrifying thought. They believe that if they loosen their grip, if they stop micromanaging every detail, their lives will spiral into chaos. So they fight harder, they overthink, they stress, they manipulate situations trying to force outcomes that may not even be meant for them. They refuse to let go, convinced that surrendering means losing. But in reality, the tighter they hold on, the more they block what could actually be theirs. There are people who are missing out on the very blessings they are praying for because they are too busy trying to control how those blessings should come. They have already decided how their success should look, how their breakthrough should happen, how their prayer should be answered. And because of that, they miss the opportunities that don't fit their limited vision. They reject open doors because they don't look the way they expected them to. They push away people sent to help them because they don't fit their idea of who should be in their circle. They fight against change because they are too attached to their own plans. Some people are so determined to follow their own timeline that they fail to realize that delays are often divine protection. They see setbacks as failures instead of seeing them as redirections. They get frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as they want, not realizing that sometimes the waiting period is necessary. They force relationships, rush into decisions, and push themselves into spaces they were never meant to be in, all because they are afraid of letting go of control. But what they don't see is that every time they try to control something that is meant to unfold naturally, they are actually slowing down the process. They are blocking what could have been easy, turning blessings into burdens. Control is rooted in fear. People who feel the need to control everything often do so because they are afraid of uncertainty. They fear failure, they fear loss, they fear disappointment. So they convince themselves that if they manage every detail, they can avoid pain. But in reality, control doesn't prevent pain, it creates more of it. The more you try to force something that isn't meant for you, the more exhausted you become. The more you resist change, the more painful the process will be. The more you try to control people, the more you push them away. There are people holding on to jobs they have outgrown because they are afraid of stepping into the unknown. There are people clinging to relationships that are draining them because they are terrified of being alone. There are people refusing to take a leap of faith because they can't see every step ahead of them. But what if the very thing you are afraid to let go of is what's keeping you from something greater? What if the thing you are gripping so tightly is the thing that's holding you back? Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you stop working hard, stop being intentional, or stop having goals. It means you stop forcing what is not meant to be forced. It means you stop trying to manipulate outcomes that are beyond your control. It means you trust that what is meant for you will not miss you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen the moment people let go, the moment they stop fighting, stop stressing, stop overthinking. Suddenly doors open, suddenly opportunities appear, suddenly things start to fall into place in ways they never could have orchestrated on their own. And that's because when you let go, you make room. When you stop clinging to what's not working, you create space for what is meant to be. When you stop trying to control everything, you allow blessings to flow freely into your life. But the problem is most people don't trust the process. They don't trust that things will work out unless they have their hands on every detail. They don't believe that better is coming unless they can see it for themselves. So they keep striving, keep pushing, keep exhausting themselves, trying to control what was never theirs to control in the first place. Some people are praying for things, but then turning around and trying to control the outcome. They are asking for guidance, but refusing to follow it when it doesn't align with their own plans. They are looking for answers, but dismissing them when they don't come in the form they expected. But faith doesn't work that way. Blessings don't work that way. You can't ask for help and then refuse to let go of the wheel. You can't say you trust that things will work out and then live every day as if it's all up to you. There are moments in life when the best thing you can do is step back, when the best thing you can do is surrender, when the best thing you can do is trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. And sometimes the reason things aren't working out isn't because you're not trying hard enough, it's because you're trying too hard. It's because you're standing in your own way. Some people are chasing things that are not meant for them, and they don't even realize it. They are knocking on closed doors, crying over missed opportunities, forcing situations that are not aligned with their destiny. But the moment they stop trying to control everything, the moment they release the need to force their way through life, they begin to see what was meant for them all along. Control is exhausting. It keeps you in a state of stress, anxiety, and frustration. It makes you feel like nothing is ever enough. It steals your peace, drains your energy, and blinds you to the blessings that are already in front of you. But the moment you let go, the moment you stop holding on so tightly, everything changes. The weight lifts, the struggle eases, the path becomes clearer. Because when you stop trying to control everything, you finally make room for the blessings that were waiting for you all along. Life is more than what we see. Every struggle, every challenge, every obstacle is not just a matter of effort, willpower, or strategy. There are things happening beyond what the eye can see, beyond what logic can explain. There is a battle that takes place in the unseen, and many people are fighting it the wrong way. They are trying to fix spiritual problems with physical solutions, and they wonder why they keep hitting the same walls, why they keep feeling drained, why nothing seems to change no matter how hard they try. They are fighting with the wrong weapons, relying on the wrong strength, and wondering why they keep losing. People think that if they just work harder, if they just grind more, if they just push through with everything they've got, they will break through. And while hard work is necessary, while discipline is required, there are some things in life that human effort alone cannot fix. There are battles that can't be won by just trying harder, thinking smarter, or planning better. No amount of intelligence, no amount of physical strength, no amount of willpower can overcome something that is spiritual in nature. And yet, people exhaust themselves trying. They burn out, they grow bitter, they become hopeless because they think the problem is that they're not doing enough. But the truth is, they're fighting with the wrong weapons. Some struggles go deeper than the surface. Some problems are rooted in things that no physical action can change. People are battling anxiety, depression, fear, addiction, self-doubt, and they think the solution is to just be stronger, to just think positive, to just push through. But these battles are not just mental or emotional. There is a deeper fight happening. There is an unseen resistance that no amount of self-discipline can break. And until people recognize that they need more than just their own strength, they will continue to struggle. Some people are trying to fix broken relationships, but the problem isn't just communication issues or misunderstandings. It's deeper than that. Some people are trying to achieve success, but no matter how hard they work, they keep facing resistance, setbacks, and obstacles that don't make sense. It's deeper than that. Some people are trying to heal from past wounds, trying to move forward, trying to step into a new season, but something keeps pulling them back. Something keeps reminding them of their past. Something keeps blocking them. It's deeper than that. These are not just natural problems with natural solutions. These are spiritual battles that require spiritual strength. People spend so much time trying to fix things in their own power, thinking that if they just put in more effort, they will win. But the truth is, without spiritual strength, without the right weapons, the battle will never be won. You can't fight fear with physical strength. You can't overcome anxiety with willpower. You can't break generational cycles with just motivation. You need something greater. You need something beyond yourself. You need power that is not limited by human ability. Some people are dealing with battles they don't even recognize as spiritual. They think their frustration, their exhaustion, their constant struggles are just a part of life. They think it's normal to feel stuck. Normal to feel like they're always fighting an invisible force. Normal to feel like no matter how much they do, it's never enough. But what they don't realize is that they are in a battle that requires more than what they're giving. They are in a war that cannot be won with human weapons. You can't fight a spiritual war with physical means. You can't win a battle in the unseen by just working harder in the seen. You can't overcome darkness with your own limited power. Some things require faith. Some things require prayer. Some things require surrendering control and allowing divine power to take over. There are people who are fighting battles that have been in their family for generations. They are dealing with struggles that didn't even start with them. They are facing things that have been passed down, things that have been holding their family back for years. And they think that if they just work harder, if they just try to be different, if they just break the pattern with sheer will, they will change things. But these battles are not just about personal effort. They require spiritual intervention. They require more than human strengths. Some people are facing opposition that doesn't make sense. They take 2 steps forward and something pushes them 3 steps back. They get a breakthrough and suddenly another problem appears. They finally get ahead and out of nowhere, they're back where they started and they wonder why. They think it's just bad luck, just a tough season, just another challenge to overcome. But what they don't see is that some resistance isn't just natural. Some resistance isn't just life happening. Some resistance is spiritual. You can't outwork a spiritual battle. You can't outthink it. You can't outrun it. The only way to win is to recognize that the battle is bigger than you and to call on a power that is greater than the struggle. The only way to overcome is to stop relying on human strength. Some people feel like they are carrying a weight they can't explain. No matter how much success they achieve, they still feel empty. No matter how much they accomplish, they still feel like something is missing. No matter how many times they try to start over, they still feel stuck in the same patterns. That's not just exhaustion. That's not just discouragement. That's not just life being hard. That is a sign that the battle is deeper than what they can see. You don't win a spiritual battle by fighting harder. You win by fighting differently. You win by recognizing that the weapons needed for this fight are not physical. You win by surrendering your need for control and trusting that there is a power greater than you that is willing to fight on your behalf. You win by understanding that some battles are meant to be fought with faith, not fists. Some battles are meant to be won through trust, not tension. Some battles are meant to be conquered not by working more, but by letting go and allowing divine strength to take over. There are people right now who are exhausted because they have been fighting battles in the wrong way. They have been trying to overcome things that were never meant to be conquered in human strength. They have been carrying burdens they were never meant to carry alone. They have been pushing, striving, and struggling, thinking that if they just try a little harder, they will win. But real victory doesn't come from more effort. It comes from recognizing that some fights require a different strategy. Some fights require a different kind of strength. Some fights require a surrender, not a struggle. Too many people are trying to fight their way through life without the right tools, without the right weapons, without the right mindset. They are trying to do things on their own, trying to battle forces they don't even fully understand, and they wonder why they keep losing. But the moment they realize that their strength alone is not enough, the moment they recognize that some things require spiritual power, everything begins to change. The struggle begins to shift. The weight begins to lift. The battles that once seemed impossible begin to turn in their favor, because spiritual battles are not won by physical means. They are won by tapping into a power that is greater than anything seen or There comes a point in life where no matter how hard you work, no matter how much effort you put in, things just don't move. You grind day and night, you pour everything you have into your dreams, you do all the right things, and yet nothing changes. You start questioning yourself. You start wondering if you're not doing enough, if you're missing something, if you should be working even harder. But what if the problem isn't your effort? What if the missing piece isn't more grinding, more strategy, or more sleepless nights? What if the reason you feel stuck is that you are relying on your strength alone and leaving faith out of the equation? Effort is important. Hard work is necessary. No one gets anywhere without discipline, without pushing themselves, without being consistent. But there are doors in life that effort alone cannot open. There are levels you cannot reach by just working harder. There are breakthroughs that do not come by human strength alone, because there are moments when life is not just about what you do, it's about what you believe. It's about stepping beyond what you can see, beyond what you can control, and trusting that something greater is at work. Some people are standing in front of doors that are locked, not because they aren't trying hard enough, but because effort is not the key. They have done everything they can. They have exhausted every option. They have pushed themselves to the limit, but the door won't open. And it's not because they aren't worthy. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because some doors only open when you stop relying on your strength and start walking in faith. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. It is the difference between grinding endlessly and stepping into a breakthrough. It is the shift that takes you from constantly striving to finally seeing things fall into place. But too many people are afraid to lean into faith. They are afraid to believe in what they cannot see. They are afraid to trust what they cannot control. So they keep pushing in their own strength, and they wonder why the doors remain closed. Some people are stuck in the same place, not because they aren't working hard, but because they are trying to move forward without faith. They are trying to achieve things that require more than human effort. They are trying to build something that requires trust, that requires surrender, that requires stepping out even when they don't have all the answers. But instead of trusting, they hesitate. Instead of believing, they doubt. And that doubt keeps them exactly where they are. Faith is not about ignoring effort. It's about recognizing that effort alone is not enough. It's about understanding that there are things in life that cannot be forced, that cannot be controlled, that cannot be achieved through sheer willpower. There are things that require you to believe before you see them. There are things that require you to step forward even when you don't know exactly where you're going. There are things that require you to let go of the need to have it all figured out and trust that the right doors will open at the right time. Some people hesitate because they want guarantees. They want to see the entire path before they take the first step. They want to be sure that everything will work out before they invest their time, their energy, their heart. But that's not how faith works. Faith is moving before you see the results. Faith is trusting even when you don't have all the answers. Faith is believing that just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it's not already in motion. Some of the greatest moments in life, some of the biggest breakthroughs, some of the most powerful transformations happen when people decide to step out in faith. When they stop overanalyzing, stop hesitating, stop waiting for everything to be perfect, and just move. And the moment they do, doors start to open. The moment they do, things start to align. The moment they do, they realize that what they were waiting for was waiting for them to take that first step. People miss out on blessings because they are too afraid to move without a guarantee. They miss out on opportunities because they refuse to walk in faith. They stay stuck because they only trust what they can see. But the problem is, if you only move when everything is clear, you'll never move at all. If you only take steps when you have every answer, you'll never go anywhere. If you only believe in what is in front of you, you'll never experience what is beyond you. Some doors will not open until you take the step. Some opportunities will not appear until you move forward. Some breakthroughs will not come until you show that you are willing to trust, even when you don't have all the details. And that's why some people feel like they are stuck, like they are standing in front of something they can't get past. It's not that they aren't meant to go through. It's that they are waiting for the door to open first, when in reality, the door's waiting for them to walk in faith. Faith is the difference between staying where you are and stepping into what's next. It is the difference between struggling endlessly and finally seeing things shift. It is the difference between barely making it and walking in purpose. And the people who understand this, the people who truly get it, are the ones who experience the kind of life others only dream about, because they are willing to believe before they see. They are willing to trust before they have proof. They are willing to step forward even when everything in them wants to hesitate. There are moments in life when effort will take you far, but faith will take you further. There are moments when no amount of logic, no amount of strategy, no amount of human power will be enough. And in those moments, the only thing that will open the door, the only thing that will move the mountain, the only thing that will bring the breakthrough is faith. Some people are exhausted because they have been trying to do everything in their own strength. They have been relying only on what they can do, on what they can control, on what they can manage. And they wonder why they feel burnt out, why they feel stuck, why they feel like no matter how hard they try, they can't move forward. It's because they are missing the one thing that makes the difference. They are missing faith. The moment you shift from relying on effort alone to walking in faith, everything changes. The moment you stop trying to force doors open and start trusting that the right doors will open at the right time, everything begins to shift. The moment you stop doubting, stop hesitating, stop waiting for everything to make sense before you move, you start to see what was meant for you all along. Because faith unlocks doors that effort alone cannot open. There are people who are incredibly gifted. They have skills, they have talent, they have everything it takes to succeed. They are intelligent, hardworking, and capable, but they are still struggling. They are still stuck. They are still not walking in the fullness of what is meant for them, and they don't understand why. They don't understand why, despite all their abilities, despite all their effort, they can't seem to break through. They don't realize that success is not just about talent, it's about obedience. Talent can take you far, but obedience is what secures the blessing. Obedience is what makes the difference between temporary success and lasting impact. Some people are chasing success, but they are doing it their own way. They are ignoring the path they are supposed to take. They are taking shortcuts. They are following trends. They are doing what seems easiest, and they wonder why things don't last. They wonder why every time they get ahead, something pulls them back. They wonder why doors that should stay open keep closing. It's because they are moving in their own strength instead of moving in alignment with the purpose set before them. There are things in life that only come when you are walking in obedience. There are blessings that only flow when you are aligned with the right path. Some people are missing out on what is meant for them, not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't working hard, but because they are not in the right position. They are trying to build something outside of where they are supposed to be. They are trying to succeed in a lane that was never meant for them, and no matter how hard they try, it will never work the way they want it to. Some people are struggling in business, struggling in relationships, struggling in life, not because they aren't capable, but because they are not listening. They are not following the steps they are supposed to take. They are choosing their own way, ignoring the direction they've been given, and wondering why things aren't working. They are making decisions based on what looks good, what seems profitable, what feels comfortable, instead of doing what they know they are called to do. Obedience requires trust. It requires stepping out even when you don't understand. It requires following instructions even when they don't make sense. Too many people are trying to calculate everything, trying to make sure it all adds up, trying to have all the answers before they move. But obedience doesn't work like that. It requires action before clarity. It requires faith before understanding. It requires stepping out, even when you don't see the full picture.